Hey there, welcome. Welcome to Rise and Receive. This is an opportunity in your day to stop whatever you're doing and take a little time to explore how to receive fulfillment in your life by unlearning struggle. So today we are on tip number 9 about how to release a resistance that blocks you from receiving what you want. So the title of today's tip is Call Off the Search. So what I invite you to do is if you have a goal, a dream, a wish, or an aspiration that you've been pursuing, take a moment to connect with what that is, let it be here, and listen in, because we're going to talk today about the difference between pursuing your goals versus receiving your goals. And that can make all of the difference with resistance or opening up to the flow. So if you don't know me, my name is Sonia Miller. I'm a speaker, coach, and best-selling author, and I mentor ambitious, goal-oriented people to surpass their limits with ease and speed. And the way that I do this is that I illuminate the behaviors and the blind spots that are unique to outcome-driven people, and then teach them the one skill that most of them are missing, which is how to receive. Because as I mentioned, there's a universal difference between pursuing your goals and receiving your goals. And most ambitious goal-oriented people are really good at pursuing. We get in hunter mode. We use a lot of thinking and action. But when it comes to actually stopping all of the doing to actually receive what we've been working so hard for, well, that can actually become the cause of our upper limits. That can actually sabotage us when we don't know how to shift from hunter mode to receiving mode. And receiving is its own skill. And that's what we talk about here. You know, I wanted to share a little bit of the success stories that people experience when they learn this simple 3-step receive method, because I'm kind of on the last third of teaching the live training of the receive experience. And it's actually so profound and so simple, and all kinds of things are happening as people dissolve their upper limits. I have people who've been wanting to make money at a business and a practice that they've really been grappling with, and now they're receiving clients and opportunities. I have somebody who just received $5,000 that they weren't expecting, another person who had a housing issue and they didn't know where they were going to live because their time was running out and they were having cash flow issues. They just manifested an incredible living arrangement with a very creative rental agreement that had more to do with trade than with cash. People have those kinds of experiences all the time. And it's actually really easy to start releasing the resistance when you understand how we create it when we stay in pursuing mode and don't know how to shift to receiving mode. So that's what's available to you. And I hope you're going to let that inspire you as you listen to today's tip. So today's tip on releasing resistance is what I call off the search. And I want to start off with a little bit of a story that kind of blew my mind when I understood why it is that we want and why it is that we pursue our goals in the first place, and how that actually sabotages us. So this came from a teaching by one of many teachers that I've studied with, Adyashanti. And what he talks about is that we think that we become happy when we get what we want, that's the thing that makes us happy. So, for example, you're a kid, you want a gumball, you get the gumball, and you're happy. And then that passes, and then you're back to wanting something else. And then maybe you're a teenager and you want to get a car. And so you pursue and figure out how to get the car, and maybe you can get some money, and you're wanting. And then finally you get the car and you're happy for a day or for a week or for a month even. You got this cool car, and then eventually you're wanting something else. So then you become an adult and you want a house, and you're pursuing, and you're wanting, and then you finally make this dream come true and you get the house and you're happy. So you keep having this experience, which is, oh, if I get what I want, I'll be happy. But it's not actually the getting of the thing that you want that makes you happy. The thing that makes you happy is that for a day, a week, maybe a month, you stopped wanting. The wanting is what actually makes you unhappy, and the stopping of the wanting is when you can open up to the abundance and the joy that is already within you. Because here's the thing, if getting the thing was the thing that made you happy, You would have stayed happy back when you got the gumball or the car or the house. But it isn't that that goes away naturally. That's naturally within you, that happiness. But once you start wanting again, your consciousness, which creates your reality, creates wanting, creates the belief in lack, that it's not here. So calling off the search is this incredibly powerful counterintuitive process or counterintuitive awareness or teaching that has us connect with when we let everything be as it is. When we notice ourselves wanting and seeking and pursuing and problem solving like a hunter, and we can simply notice and stop, and then adopt the practice of let everything be as it is. It's as if you were looking at the world through the lenses of lack. I want because I don't have. They fell away when you stopped looking. And once you stop searching for just even a little bit, you can start practicing paying attention to what is here. Just notice what is here when you stop looking. You can go back to looking if you want, because I know that this is kind of mind-blowing. But I'll tell you, when I started the practice of let everything be as it is, calling off the search, just to see what would happen, just to see what was here, I opened the door to a flow and a bunch of awarenesses and more expansion and understanding in ways that just blew my mind. Because trust me, I used to call myself the relentless seeker. And I've been a seeker for most of my life until I got to these awarenesses related to receiving and calling off the search. Okay, so let's talk about that in another way. I'm going to share with you something that I really love, and it's a kind of a personalized distinction. Some of you may be familiar with something called the Serenity Prayer. And many times when people pray, and you don't have to pray, you don't have to believe in anything in particular, but prayer is a form of focusing your awareness or your attention in a particular direction, usually towards the things you want, or towards support, or towards strength, or towards all kinds of things that we most wish for and need in our lives. But it's something generally positive to help us with things that we're struggling with. Now, many prayers are structured as what I call beseeching prayers, which is dear God, dear life, or just however we want to frame that. Please give me, please grant me something. So the Serenity Prayer goes like this. Dear God, dear higher power, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the power to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Well, this is very powerful if you come to it with willingness. A lot of people use this prayer and it brings a lot of peace. But one thing that I decided to do was, because I know that consciousness creates my reality, I decided instead to shift it towards a prayer or a declaration of gratitude. And many people do pray with gratitude, because gratitude is the consciousness of I have. This is already here. Thank you for what is already here, versus may I please have something that I don't have. And a great way to look at this is, you might not think that you have serenity, but you always have some degree of serenity. So you're giving thanks for the serenity you do have. How do I know you have some degree of serenity? Because it can always be worse. How do I know that you do have power? Because you can always feel even a bit more powerful. There's a great saying by an author whose name I can't recall, but it goes like this. If you can't give thanks for what you have, give thanks for what you escape. Somebody always has it worse than you. And that's an immediate shift. When you have trouble connecting with gratitude, you can always think about somebody who's less fortunate around the same thing. So this is how I modified the Serenity Prayer. And this is a great example of calling off the search and giving thanks or attention or focus on what you do have. So I will say something like, dear life, thank you for the serenity that I do have to accept the things I cannot change, the courage and the power to change the things I can, the wisdom to know the difference, and the grace to be guided in this and all things. So when you call off the search, you stop the looking, you let everything be as it is, and you become willing, just like this prayer does, to see what is already here. In the world of receiving, I call this shifting from seeking to seeing, because manifesting what you want is not about attracting anything. It's not about finding something that was missing or fixing something that's broken. It's about seeing how what you actually have been wanting is already here. But you can only do that when you call off the search and look around and start to see how it is so, even in the smallest bit, because once you see a little bit of it, then you give lots of thanks for that, it grows and multiplies. So I hope this was helpful for you. Call off the search. Notice when you're wanting and seeking. That will create resistance, because what you're going to be creating is more wanting and seeking. Call off the search and acknowledge how you do have some little seed of what it is that you want. Hey, Kaya, great to see you. So with that, here is the card from the Receive Oracle card deck that I'm highlighting today. Let it be here. Let it be here. So you can simply say this affirmation when you notice that you're seeking, stopping, and say, I am willing to let everything be as it is. Just try it. See what happens, okay? If you like this, you can also get your own card deck on Amazon. There's the Glare. Receive Oracle cards. There's a guidebook with all kinds of teaching wisdom. And if you'd like to be part of a community that keeps on growing and all we do is focus on how to receive our fulfillment by unlearning struggle. Let's see. Yep, you're catching the end, but it's going to be recorded. So come back for that. Okay, Kaya? So join me at the Receive community. It's on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/groups/Receive community. That's where we connect with the 3-step receive method, practice, tips, videos, and resources. I hope you like this. If you did, please like, please share. It helps me reach the people that I'm here to serve. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. I'll let you know each time I release the next video. And I will see you at the next Rise and Receive. Bye, everybody.